Instagram now, though. That's the problem.
Okay, I'm gonna show you stuff about half guard. Okay, I'm gonna pass your half guard. You're gonna be right here.
Oh, so much fun.
Don't worry, I won't be putting too much pressure on. Okay, right here, right there. Okay, so crossface underhook is great. It's really good. I like it a lot. The only downside is obviously if he tries to bridge me in that direction, I won't have this base that can help me sometimes. Okay, that's one. Two, if he puts a butterfly hook in and starts to elevate me up over his shoulder, don't worry about the underhook, just literally elevate me up. He can start to get into single leg X on the opposite side. And then finally, if he does get the underhook, I should be confident in my ability to negate this underhook by bringing my head towards his elbow. If I'm up here with my head high, it's easy for him to shut me on by and do all that stuff. If he gets an underhook and my head is low here, when he tries to use this underhook, it's way more difficult, okay? And even if I don't have a people think it's the crossface that stops you from using an underhook. That's not true, because even if I start putting a crazy strong crossface in here, if he starts to elevate that underhook, still gonna have a problem, right? So really what it is, even if I don't have a crossface, if he gets an underhook, but I get good head position, he's still gonna have that problem. Okay, so that's the first couple notes. Now, I'm gonna start at an end stage position with the crossface underhook and how you can avoid having a butterfly hook entered into the situation at all, okay? So the first thing I'm always gonna do is understand that if my knee is on the ground, I'm at risk of getting knee lever, okay? But it's hard for him to put a butterfly hook in if he tries, okay? Now, I can fix the knee lever problem by by bringing my knee off, so get a real half guard on me, otherwise it's not gonna look right. So by bringing my knee up like this, now if he tries to knee lever me, it's never gonna happen. But it's easy for him to get a butterfly hook. Okay. A third option is, if you let go of the butterfly hook, if I take my knee across his glute here like this, it's very difficult for him to knee lever me. Okay. And then if he tries to put a butterfly hook in, it's hard as well. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is negating a butterfly hook while still having my knee off the mat. If I keep my knee against his glute here like this, and it's still off the mat so I can start to do all that stuff, the best he's gonna get is a shin butterfly hook. I don't care about a shin butterfly hook that much. Will it help him? A little bit, but not that much as I'm cross-facing him and looking to climb into a high tripod. Okay, that's one. Two, let's say he starts not in a butterfly hook, and I start high tripoding. It's the same thing. If I have my knee pointed out, it's easy for him to enter a butterfly hook in and start off balancing me. Not great, okay? So that's why, go ahead back to a normal. I'm going to always look to come up with my knee pointing inwards. That's my preference. You can still do this, and even if he gets a butterfly hook, you can often still pass if you pummel and, play this whole game and stuff. But that's the thing. Now, let's talk about a situation where before you go into a high tripod, you get a butterfly hook in. Okay, so he's in a butterfly hook, and this is pre-high tripod. What I'm gonna do to negate his butterfly hook is pin his heel to his butt where he doesn't have a lot of ability to off balance me, because he's strong here, way weaker here. And I'm also going to look to squeeze everything together so that he can't also elevate me out that direction. So what I'm gonna do is scissor my knees where this knee goes forward and this other knee goes back and pinch my knees. So if I'm here with the crossface and the underhook, and even if I'm back, generally you don't want to start going forwards into a butterfly, you're gonna have problems. So even if I'm sitting back and he's good here, he'll put his hands in my armpits, so go around and under my armpit, around, and then he'll elevate me up over, right? Now, you'll see the difference when I execute that scissor and pinch of my knees, even if I have a crossface underhook and I'm kind of forward, when he tries to do the same thing, I don't really move the same way. So it's a pinch and a scissor. and then I look to flatten. And when I look to flatten, try not to come forward. Try and stay back as best you can, okay? And that's why this underhook can be bad. Why do I like to keep the underhook when I'm passing half guard? I'll tell you why. And it's because of a dilemma that the guy on bottom can put you in. So let's say we're talking about a no butterfly guy. We got our cross face, we got our underhook, everything's going great here. This is when the cross face fails, when he puts a hip post with his hand. Because as I'm up here, now he can bridge me this way, other way. You have to bridge me that way. And I'm gonna have a problem. So I have to be able to remove that hip post. And the way I do that, once I'm in this high tripod, is he puts that, I'm gonna switch my head position here and elevate this. Now he has no bridge, and I can look to come in and pass. So that's why I like the crossface and underhook, because it allows me to go to a high tripod and have a little bit more success. When I try to go to a high tripod with just a crossface, it'll work, but not as well. Generally, when I'm working with just a crossface, I'm looking more. I'm always trying to flatten, but I'm looking more for the kind of passing where you clear this knee, free this out, and then you have to do the battle with this, where if he's got a good elbow escape, you're gonna still have to deal with that, which is okay. We can come into all that stuff, but you know, that's why I prefer crossface underhook. And then when I go to a high tripod, I try to prevent the butterfly hook. And then if they do the hip post, which really good guys will do, and bridge you, sometimes they won't get a full bridge, obviously. They'll just get like a little thing, you'll do it. But it's enough to take you from a 99% pass back to a regular guard. So that's when I'll abandon the crossface, use my head as a crossface, and start to look to elevate that elbow. Now, if you try and do that move, the butterfly hook, where you are here, switch this way, and do all this, you're literally giving him some easy off balances either direction. He can start to elevate you that way or that way, and it becomes more of a problem. So I generally try to avoid getting a butterfly hook put in either by going wide and creating a knee elbow connection on his glute here like this. So now there's no chance he can put a butterfly hook. And then when I do start to go into a high tripod, I make sure I don't, because it's natural to want your knee to flare out because you can start to put retarded pressure on people. But if I go into a high tripod like that, there's always a chance I'll put a butterfly hook in and start giving me problems here. Now, I can even the score and get my own butterfly hook, and then it becomes a battle. But I'd rather just win, honestly. Once I'm here, I'd rather just win. So the way I do that is by making sure my knee's always pointing at his butt. When he tries to enter a butterfly, all he's gonna get is the shin. And the shin is never enough to stop me from passing. At least from that position. So that's what I'm saying. About crossface underhook, all that stuff. And always be sure that, and I'll just add this in because I can. So if he does get an underhook on me, I'll come back down here and start working, even if he's blocking my crossface. From here, I'm always looking to do the battle, okay? My late stage, when people are really good at this, at dealing with this hand, is I'll come out. So actually, you're never gonna go there, because if you go there, yeah, there. I will actually lift the elbow up, so grab his elbow and lift it, which makes it for an easy pummel, and come to a crossface into an underhook. And then from here, if he is able to bump me forward and start coming up, I use a thumb post and a reverse crossface to either allow me to create enough space to re-pummel, or sometimes you can even use this to fully flatten him back out. Okay, so, and generally I want his face pointing, so if I'm using this reverse crossface and I'm using it to finish him, sorry, I'm not using it to finish him, if I'm using it to take him down, I'm going here like this. I like to pummel in and go to my head. Now, he can't use his crossface no matter what. Like legit try and go. You got nothing, bro. And that's when you can come into this stuff, widen your elbow, free your hand, back to this. All that stuff. Okay, that's what I do. Why?
Because